In the beginning, the Ottomans were just one of many nomadic warrior tribes sweeping across the plains of what is now central Turkey. In the late 1200s, it had long been territory of the Byzantine Empire, the successor to Imperial Rome. But Christian Byzantium was collapsing, and chaos was everywhere. The eye of the gathering storm was a charismatic tribal chieftain named Osman.
Osman, probably because of force of personality, became the head of a group of warriors. The strength of his enterprise was based on his willingness to reach out to whomever might be useful to this new state that was in the making.
To outsiders, Osman sounded like Ottoman, and the name stuck. Vital allies during the Ottomans' early frontier decades included Byzantine and Serbian Christians. Together, they began conquering their way to an empire.
War is what men did. War is the normal state of affairs in the pre-modern period, certainly in the early modern period, throughout Europe, throughout Asia, in fact. So the Ottomans are no different in that regard. The Ottoman role is that in lots of ways they're a lot more successful than everybody else.
Location played a role in early Ottoman success. They straddled important trade routes. Willingness to set up vassal states that paid tribute also helped. But probably most important was their early leadership structure, which rewarded the most capable and battle-seasoned. The Ottomans would eventually control the Middle East, much of northern Africa, and southeastern Europe.
Most subjects were actually better off under the Ottomans than they had been under their previous rulers. Now, what was different in the situation is that the Ottomans are Muslims and the previous rulers were largely Christian.
Since the Crusades, and even earlier, Muslims and Christians had fought ferociously over faith and territory. But the Ottomans, instead of mowing down their new Christian subjects, largely let them be.
There could have been other things that happened to that population. They survived not because the Ottomans couldn't do something about them, but because they wouldn't do something about them.
To the pragmatic Ottomans, ruling with a light touch made sense. Peace in newly conquered lands freed them to conquer more. And coming from frontier regions where faiths and traditions intermingled, they saw no need to impose a uniform culture.
The formal official standards were of toleration. Because the Ottomans adopted Islam as the official religion of the empire, they were bound to Islamic precepts. Islamic precepts said that Christians and Jews had received part of God's revelation. And because they had received that revelation, they were entitled to the respect of Muslims and to the protection of their religion by the Islamic State under whose rule they had fallen.